It feels like it's been forever since the New York Knicks were good, being an absolute atrocity of a franchise since James Dolan took over, by far the worst owner in the NBA. The franchise has been an absolute disgrace, absolutely laughable, amongst the biggest travesties of all travesties. Every season, New York Knicks fans can expect the same results. Aside from all the pain, it's been over 6 years since the Knicks were actually good. The last time the franchise made the postseason, 2012-2013, led by Prime Melo. For many New York fans, that was the last time they were happy about the team, and a lot has changed since then. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Carmelo Anthony fans are euphoric. As of now, getting another shot at the league. He was at his absolute peak in 2013, was the NBA's leading scorer, averaging 28.7 points. 27-year-old J.R. Smith was in his prime, the second leading scorer for the Knicks, averaging over 18 a game. Amari Stoudemire was slowing down with injuries, only played 29 games. Raymond Felton was solid. Tyson Chandler came up winning Defensive Player of the Year the season before. Iman Shumpert was a solid young player. Chris Copeland gave good production, and scrappy vets in Kenyon Martin, Rasheed Wallace, Steve Novak, Jason Kidd, and Pablo Prigioni provided great leadership. Also, Marcus Camby and Kurt Thomas were on their last legs. If all of those guys were 2 years younger, New York would have been a legit contender. Ever since then, the team had 4 different head coaches. After the Mike Woodson era, won 37 games the year after, continued to get worse. 17 wins in 2015, followed by 32 wins, 31 wins, 29 wins, back to 17 wins, and currently 3-10 so far. The team's not going anywhere this season. Let's take a look at where the 2012-2013 Knicks are now. Starting with former head coach Mike Woodson. After being fired at the end of the 2013-14 season, he was an assistant under Doc Rivers with the Clippers from September 2014 to May 2018. Now he's away from the game for the second time in 33 years, taking some time off right now. Should be back in the coaching circle very soon. Assistant coach Herb Williams, who was let go the same time as Woodson. Since March 2015, he's been the assistant coach of the WNBA's New York Liberty. Assistant Darrell Walker, now the head coach at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock in the Sun Belt Conference since 2018, a former Knicks player himself from 1983 to 86. Now on to the players. James White, who's been playing overseas in Italy, also spent time in Russia and Iran, spent some time in the Big 3 League in 2017, and was very limited in the NBA, was known for his insane dunks back in the day. His athleticism didn't translate to the hardwood, was invited to the 2013 dunk contest at 30 years old, finished with the lowest score. Now at age 37, his basketball career is dwindling down. Earl Barron, who played 1 game, also played with the Suns afterwards, and plays poker now 3 times a week, has also competed at the World Poker Tournament. Kurt Thomas, who's 47 years old right now, played for 9 different teams, was already 40 years old with the Knicks, the oldest player at the time. The 6'9" power forward also spent time with the Knicks from 98 to 05, had his number 40 jersey retired at TCU, does a lot of work with the Dallas community, gives back, has been very low-key since retirement. Marcus Camby, who's 45 years old today, spent the 98-99 season with the Knicks until 02, made his final stop back to the Big Apple at 38 years old, who recently settled for divorce for $4.1 million, along with child support for the couple's 2 children as of June 2019. After 14 years of marriage, his ex claimed he was unfaithful and fathered a child with another woman. She even claimed her ex-husband contracted STD and exposed her to it. Hopefully, things are getting better for both of them now after they separated. Solomon Jones, who was signed on April 12th, waived April 15, lasted 2 games, and then played with the Magic for 11 games after. Quentin Richardson, who played 1 game, signed on April 16 after Jones was waived, now works for Fox Orlando Magic broadcast team and the co-host of the Knuckleheads podcast alongside former player and lifelong friend Darius Miles, one of my favorite basketball podcasts to listen to. I highly recommend it to any Hoops fan. Rasheed Wallace, who also retired for the second time after the season at 38 years old, said farewell for the first time after the 2010 season with Boston, served as an assistant with the Pistons in the 2013-14 season under Stan Van Gundy, and has been one of the biggest voices in helping hands in the Flint water crisis, delivered water door to door in Flint since 2016, wrote on the Players Tribune to raise awareness, was also recently inducted into the 2019 Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame where he grew up, now coaching coaching at Charles E. Jordan High School in Durham, North Carolina. She's making sure the kids are working hard out there. Chris Copeland, who was a 28-year-old rookie, spent the next 2 seasons with the Pacers, then Bucks in 2015-16. 2 years after the season, he was stabbed on April 8, 2015, outside One Oak nightclub in New York City, lost a lot of blood, recovered, returned to Europe, spent time in Turkey and Spain, now lives in LA, plays pickup ball with former NBA vets like Ryan Artest and Cuttino Mobley, building his own mobile apps, very involved in real estate and tech, and 3 more other lanes of businesses. Copeland staying low-key and on the grind. Ronnie Brewer, who didn't last with the Knicks for the whole season, was traded to the Thunder on February 2013, then signed with the Rockets and Bulls afterwards. Last played in the G League in 2016, is a radio host on ESPN's NW Arkansas 99.5 FM's Power Hour. Pablo Prigioni, now 42 years old, was a 35-year-old rookie, also played with the Rockets and Clippers afterwards, is now an assistant coach for the Timberwolves under head coach Ryan Saunders, was an assistant with the Nets last season. Steve Novak, now 36 years old, after a stellar 2012 season, played with the Raptors, Jazz, Thunder, and Bucks after his time with New York, is now a television analyst for the Bucks on Fox Sports Wisconsin, his home state. Iman Shumpert, who just got picked up by the Brooklyn Nets, was a sophomore in 2013, started all 45 games after returning from an ACL injury. Phil Jackson sent him to the Cavs in 2015, where he was part of that 2016 championship team. Also played with the Kings and Rockets in the 2018-19 season. He's still only 29 years old. Kenyon Martin, who spent another season with the Knicks afterwards, retired with the Bucks in 2014-15, also spent some time in the Big Three, coached the Trilogy, and occasionally appears on FS1 Talking Hoops, a part owner of Coconut Water called Life Recovery, had a pretty good 15-year NBA career. And of course, his former New Jersey Nets teammate Jason Kidd, who was in his last season at 39 and 40 years old. He started 48 of 76 regular season games, played nearly 27 minutes. After Jeremy Lin signed with Houston, Kidd got a 3-year deal worth $9 million, was a great leader for the team, had everybody playing unselfish basketball, but unfortunately ran out of gas in the playoffs, shot under 18% from 3 in the postseason. After retirement, Kidd immediately got a head coaching job with the Nets and also coached the Bucks after, and is now an assistant with the Lakers under Frank Vogel. Tyson Chandler, now with the Houston Rockets, likely his final season as the backup center. At 37 years old, Chandler also spent time with the Mavs, Suns, and Lakers after his time with New York and is now in his 19th season. Raymond Felton, 2013 was his last good year in the NBA, wasn't the Knicks' answer at the point guard position long term, is an unsigned free agent right now with questions about his conditioning. Even during his best years, it won't be surprising if he never plays in the NBA again. Another current free agent, J.R. Smith, who still has the usable skills as a 3-point shooter in today's league, but his tenure with the Cavs ended on bad terms, being told to stay away last season. His past might have finally caught up to him, was traded alongside Shumpert to Cleveland, and a huge part of the 2016 title team. The 34-year-old might still have a chance to play for another team, but his days are getting limited. Amari Stoudemire, who tried out this past summer, working out for multiple NBA teams, hoping for a comeback. The 37-year-old is now playing in China for the Fujian Surgeons in the CBA, joined the Mavs and Heat after his time with New York, played in Ice Cube's Big 3 league and also in Israel. Stoudemire was slowed down by injuries throughout his career, was barely part of the Knicks rotation in 2013, played just 29 games, missed the entire first-round series against Boston, returned in Game 3 against the Pacers in the semis. His career was never the same after. And Carmelo Anthony, who's on his way to making his Blazers debut very soon. The 35-year-old spent 4 more brutal seasons with New York after his MVP caliber year, wasting a lot of years away on a dysfunctional franchise. Him and Phil Jackson also didn't get along, where he should have left 2 years earlier. Before being traded to OKC, it seemed like it was a little too late. Didn't fit well with Paul George and Russ in the starting lineup, averaged just 16.2 points in 32 minutes, was traded to Atlanta and waived, then signed with Houston. The team gave up on him after 10 games, sent to the Bulls, waived, and out the NBA for more than a year. Melo continued to ball in pickup games constantly, and fans are going crazy right now that he's finally back. Will be a rotation player on a non-guaranteed contract. Hopefully, he'll end his career on good terms. With Melo, Chandler, and Shumpert the only active NBA players for these Knicks, At the very start of the 2019 season, it appears Chandler might have been the last man standing from the 2013 Knicks roster since Jumper and Melo just got signed. With 6 of the retired guys in their early to mid 40s right now, the team had savvy veterans who simply burned out in the playoffs. 2013 was the last time Melo was meaningful in the playoffs. Roy Hibbert dominated Tyson Chandler in the second round, who was battling with illness, had a flu, which caused him to lose a dozen pounds. And 22-year-old Brooklyn native Lance Stevenson killed the Knicks in Game 6, pouring in 25, now playing overseas in China. Despite a second round exit, the 2013 Knicks team has been the best memory for young diehard Knicks fans. Good things they can look back on. And suffering badly for the next 6 years, I can go on and on about the franchise's dumb decisions they constantly make. Not even winning more than 37 games in 6 years and on the verge of firing head coach David Fizdale, the front office and owner has to take an honest look at themselves in the mirror and stop pointing the fingers at someone else when they created the mess. Hopefully, the 2020s will be a better decade for the Knicks. Thank you so much for watching this video. What were some of your favorite memories from the 2013 Knicks team? Let me know in the comments below. I love all of you. See you next time.